All right, 62, 77, 771. 62, 771 petroleum contamination site priority ranking rule. All right. 62, 771, 100 introduction, scope, and definitions. One purpose of the Inland Protection Trust Fund created with the Section 376.30712 of the Florida State Statute served the respiratory for the funds which enable the Department to respond without delay to the incidents of inland contamination related to the source of petroleum products in order to protect the public health and safety welfare, minimize the environmental damage of the petroleum contamination site, and efficient with the cost-effective manner of the chapter identified with the process. But the Department will initially score the petroleum contaminated sites to reflect the potential risk of the human health and environment. We score or the petroleum contamination site based on the available site-specific data. Rank the petroleum contamination site based on the score prioritized order within which the Department will perform the site of rehabilitation activities according with the Chapter 62780 of the Florida Administration Codes, pursuant to Section 376.30715A, Florida State Statute. The chapter establishes the criteria to determine the Department of priorities for the conducting response action on petroleum contamination site, pursuant to Section 376.30715A. The Florida State Statute Fund with the Inland Protection Trust Fund shall be obligated to respond to the action individual petroleum contamination sites in accordance with such established criteria. Applicability to rules establish the criteria as the source of the system source score ranking petroleum contamination site qualifying for the Early Detective Initiative Program, Section 376.30719, Florida State Statute site qualifying for other authorized site of the activity, Section 376.30714, Florida State Statute site participation restoration portion of the Petroleum Liability Restoration Insurance Program, Section 376.307.2, Florida State Statute sites qualifying the Abandoned Tank Restoration Program, Section 376.305.6, Florida State Statute sites qualifying for petroleum cleanup participation program, Section 373.071.13, Florida State Statute sites qualifying for innocent victim petroleum storage system restoration program, or Section 373.071.15, Florida State Statute to determine the order in which the site will be addressed by the Department of Definitions. All words and phrases defined in Section 376.301, Florida State Statute have the same meaning when used in the chapter. The following words and phrases when using this chapter should have the following meanings. Assignment means the authorization to proceed with the response to action for the contracting task assessment, and the department issued with the purchase order of the contamination. Contaminated means discharge of petroleum products in the surface water, the groundwaters upon the land, and in quantities which may result in violation of this chapter 62.302, Florida Administration Code of Water Quality Standards. Free product means the petroleum product in excess of 1/10 of an inch in thickness, measured in the thickness point of the floating of the surface waters for the groundwaters. Funds means the Independent Inland Protection Trust Fund. Immediate threat means for the site with a specific condition set of circumstances this likely to create immediately exposure to risk of human health and environment, or the environment determination of exposure risk imposed by the site, and it must take into consideration all of the following. 1. The level of contamination. 2. Likelihood of the exposure to contamination will occur that will complete exposure pathways. F. The lower explosive limit means the minimum liquor concentration of vapor to the air below the propagation of the flame will not occur in impressions of the ignition source measured as the reading of the explosive meter calibrated using a 200 ppm propane mixture and 21.5% oxygen atmosphere. Obligation means the charge based on by the best of the department cost estimate against the unobligated balance in fund in accordance with the requirements of Chapter 376 Florida State Statute. This rule, the program task means the phase of site rehabilitation, including the initial remediation action, contamination assessment report, remedial action plan, and remedial action is described in Chapter 62.780 of Florida Administrative Code. The recent product loss means the significant product loss is described in Rule 62.761.237 Florida Administrative Codes within 365 days prior to the date of siting. Scoring done in accordance with the rule. Recent spills means the discharge of petroleum products within 365 days prior to the date while on the site, scoring down into the accordance with the rule. The site and petroleum product contamination site means the contingency land, inland surface land for the groundwater or areas upon which the discharge of petroleum products has occurred. Unobligated balance means the amount of money remaining in the fund of the department that has been an obligation against the fund. And the rulemaking authority is 376.303, 376.37071. Florida state laws implemented 376.30, 376.301, 376.303, 376.305, 376.3071, 376.3071, 376.30713, 376.30714, 376.30715, 376.30716, 376.30772. Florida History News, May 5th, 1987, formerly 1771-01001, amended June 5th, 1989, November 16th, 1989, February 14th, 1993, formerly 1771.100, amended December 5th, 1996, and January 16th, 2014. And then we move on to... we're still in the petroleum contamination site priority ranking rule chapter, which is 62771, but this is 300, and this should be the last one. Scoring system and scoring system application. For the sites that have not been scored with the initial scoring system that is followed with the fire explosion has the free product with volatilized petroleum product at or above 20% of the lower explosive limit is existing. The utility continuity vaults, buildings are uninhabited, confined space shall be awarded 60 points. In ignitable free product with the surface water impoundments should be awarded 60 points. Threatening uncontaminated drinking water supplies, uncontaminated municipal community well fields greater than 100,000 gallons per day permitted with the capacity of the well within 1/2 mile of the site shall be awarded 30 points. And if the well fields 1 foot, the drawn contour should be known as the encompass the site regardless of the well field distance from the site. In addition, with 20 points should be awarded. Or if the well is filled with located down gradient of the site, an additional 15 points shall be awarded. The uncontaminated deprived wells constructed with the date of contamination discovered the uncontaminated public water system well field is less than 100,000 gallons per day of the permitted capacity, as well as with a well within 1/4 mile of the site shall be awarded 20 points. And if the well's field's 1 foot drawn contour is known but encompasses the site regardless of the well's field's distance from the site, an additional 10 points shall be awarded. B, if the well is located down gradient of the site, an additional 5 points shall be awarded. Uncontaminated surface water body used in public water system supply with 1/2 a mile of the site shall be awarded 10 points. Mitigation potential. One source of the characteristics like only one recent spill of free product found within the well or borehole shall be awarded 4 points, except for the 2 or more inches of the free product found in 2 or more wells boreholes shall be awarded a total of 6 points. Recent product loss of well groundwater contaminated but non-free product shall be awarded 2 points. Product type select only one. Light product, kerosene, gasoline, aviation fuel, similar petroleum product with soluble additives, enhancers, MTBE, ethanol, similar substances shall be awarded 3 points. Light petroleum product with no additives, enhancers shall be awarded 2 points. Heavy petroleum product, fuel, oil, diesel with similar petroleum products should be awarded 1 point. Environmental settings cited located in the G1 area described in Rule 62, 520, 410, 410 shall be awarded 4 points. Sites located in G2 aquifer described in Rule 62, 520, 410 Florida Administration Code shall be awarded 2 points. Sites located in a high rechargeable permittable geological area should be awarded 4 points. Sites located within a half-mile outstanding Florida water shall be awarded 1 point. A site not meeting the criteria for the category receiving no points for the category of the 3, the points shall be total cited rank based on the total numerical score of the site. The sites involving the incident contamination related to the storage of petroleum product reported with the Department pursuant to Section 376.305, 376.3071, 376.3072. Florida State statutes shall be scored in accordance with the provision of the scoring system Rule 62, 771, 300 Florida Administration Codes. Rescoring based on the site of the specified data, the department will rescore and deduct points from the current score with using an applicable criteria subsection 62, 771, 301 Florida Administration Codes, modifying the priority status for the site after completing the site assessment or the criteria or the remedial action work if the site meets the criteria subsection 62, 780, 901 Florida Administration Code. Long-term natural attention is subject to the criteria subsection 376, 3071, 5C2, Florida State statutes, and active remediation is required to resume. The site may be scored in accordance with the subsection notwithstanding the prior ranking score of the site that has been restored and rescored. Funding of the Inland Protection Testing Trust Fund shall be made available. Implementation of monitoring plan in accordance with the site program eligibility. At the request of the responsible party for the site, the site will be rescored, awarding the deducting points for the initial scoring when using applicable criteria in subsection 62, 771, 301 Florida Administration Codes after the following. One site assessment report has been approved by the Department pursuant to 62-780-600 as Florida Administration Code. The risk assessment report has been approved by the Department pursuant to 62-780-650 Florida Administration Code. 3. Positive active remediation monitoring has been approved by the Department pursuant to 62-780-750 Florida Administration Code. 66. Priority list. The priority list for the site shall be developed based on an accordance with the score cited, but such that the highest secondary site shall be the highest priority with the response activity. The lowest scored site shall be the lowest priority with the response action. The priority ranking list shall be maintained with the Department. The website contained with the date with which any site with all scored sites shall be incorporated into the priority list with the position of all site previously on the list being adjusted accordingly. 7. Site selection and task assignment. Sites will be selected with the response action beginning with the highest ranked site on the most recent priority ranking listing, proceeding with the lower ranked cited. Contractors will be assigned specific program tasks and sites according with the provisions of Chapter 62.7.2 for the administrative codes. Once the task assignment is made, the subsequent adjustment with the priority list shall not alter the task assignment unless the department determines that the most effective cost approach can be achieved with the reassignment of complying with the public health and environmental condition warrants, and a reassignment of the reassignment is otherwise an overall public interest. 9. Regardless of the site score, the department may initiate the emergency action for the sites that, in judgment of the department, of the imminent threat to human health or safety, where the failure to prevent mitigation of petroleum contamination would cause irreversible damage to the environment. Once the threat has necessitated the emergency action has been addressed, the site will return to the appropriate place in the priority ranking. Rulemaking Authority 376.303, 376.3071, Florida State History Law, Florida Statute Laws implemented 376.380, 376.301, 376.303, 376.305, 376.3071, 376.30711, 376.30713, 376.301 714, 376.30715, 376.30716, 376 3072, Florida History News, May 5th, 1987, formerly 1771-030, amended June 5th, 1989, November 16, 1989, February 14, 1993, formerly 17-771.30, 300, amended December 5th, 1996, January 16th, 2014. And that concludes the petroleum contamination site priority ranking rule, or for the Florida administration codes.